everyone. Welcome back to Eyes on Prize. I want to talk again about monitoring spirit, but I want to entitle it Friend or Foe. So I want to share this story with you because it's a personal story and I just want to share that story with you. And you can tell me what you think. So there is this guy that I know for over 20 something years, and he was a friend of my ex-husband. So all this time I know him. He's been in and out of relationship, but he's in a serious relationship. And every time I see him, because he's a good guy, in my opinion, he was a good guy. And whenever I see him, I will give him the biggest hug ever, because I'm always happy to see him. And because he liked to exercise just like me, work out, always be out there in nature. And I like that, about him. So he is actually married. So I remember all these stories started, over a couple years ago, but I'm just going to narrow everything down for you to understand what I'm trying to say. So whenever he's going through a spur of moment of confusion and trust issue, even when he go to the hospital, and if he's not trusting the doctor, he would say to his wife, "Take me to Marjorie. Take me over there. I need to see her. I just need to see her. I just need to see her." And his wife would just take him to see me, and they wouldn't call me or anything. They would just show up at my house. But that was okay because I consider him a friend. And I would hear him out and try to understand what spirit is on him and what is going on with him. So I kind of narrow it down. And I remember one day, it was early, about nearly 8 o'clock in the morning. There was a ringing on my doorbell. Oh my God, my doorbell was ringing so much. And I'm not opening my door. And the doorbell keep constantly ringing. So I got up and looked, and it was him outside. He came to my house from the hospital with his hospital band on him because he didn't trust them over there. And he just felt like they were trying to do something to him. And I'm like, okay. So when he came over, I can see he was very, very confused. So I ran, grabbed my olive oil, and I'm like, let's pray. So I prayed for him and anointed him. And as soon as I was done, he was like, there's something about your home. It's very peaceful. It's like I can feel the presence of God. I can see clearly whenever I'm over here. And I'm like, oh, really? So he laughed. He was like, I got to go. And he went back over to the hospital. Okay, so I noticed that he will say that his wife will say, why were you on the street? I saw you on the street. But nothing really was dawning on me when he said that his wife would be asking him why he was on this particular street. And that's the street I live on. So I wasn't paying it any attention. So I remember, because of him, and like I said, I have a history with him. He's the only person that can just pop up at my house and I let him in because he need help. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can help him. But I asked him one day, said, is your wife jealous of our relationship? And he was like, yeah, she was. And I try to back off because I do not want no wife to be jealous of me, because there's no reason to be jealous of me because I know him longer than her. So if I wanted a relationship with him, I would have had it, but obviously I don't. So this story started in President Day that just passed. So he called and he was like, where you at? Because he's the one that called and I just wanted to make sure he's okay, I answered the phone and he was like, where you at? I said, I'm home. He said, why? He said, can I get a bottle of water? I'm like, why? So he was walking and he was at my house and I'm like, dude, you can't just pop up at my house every time you feel like popping up. You gotta call. And he was like, can I get a bottle of water? And I said, listen, I got to get dressed. And he was like, how long is it going to take? I said, it doesn't matter. You're going to stay outside until I am ready to open my door. So I went in and I, changed my clothes quickly and I opened the door. So as soon as I opened the door, he was like, can I use your restroom? I'm always irritated when someone just come to my house and say, can I use your restroom? And I said, okay, go on. So he took his shoes off and went to my restroom because I do not allow shoe inside my house. So when he came back out, he said, girl, when are you going to get a husband? I said, no, I'm not interested right now with in no relationship. And he was like, well, maybe you're not going to ever get married. Maybe you're just going to be like a virgin for God. And I'm like, the devil's a liar. I'm going to get married again, but I'm not ready until God healed me of everything that I've been through my marriage that I had. So he was like, no, I think you're just going to be a mother of, a mother that lead God people to him. And I'm like, no. So I just listened to him and I'm like, okay, whatever, but I know I'm going to get married again, but I didn't say that to him. So I did not have any water, so I gave him a tea leaf, and he was saying the tea leaf was nasty. And I'm like, okay, it's unsweetened, so there's no sugar in it because I like natural stuff. And I gave him the tea leaf, and when he said that, I'm like, all I did was I poured some sugar in it and I shook it up and I gave it to him, and he said it tasted better. So while he was there, he was like, okay, can I get some water in the bottle of the tea leaf? And I gave him some water, and I'm like, okay, that's all? And he was like, yeah. So he left. So I went back and changed my clothes, trying to relax in my house. Like 2 minutes later, he called and said, you know what? I'm coming back at your house because can I get another tea leaf? And I'm thinking, no, dude, I'm not giving you another tea leaf because you didn't like the tea leaf. What are you talking about? And he said, all of a sudden, I just feel for meat. Me not understanding nothing, it's just my spirit. Whenever my spirit start getting agitated, I know something is wrong. And I said, why are you telling me you feel for meat? Why don't you go tell your wife you feel for meat? Can't she cook? This is me not even knowing what he was actually saying to me. And I'm like, can't your wife cook? I mean, why you tell me you want meat? Tell her what kind of meat you want and let she cook it. Why are you telling me? And he was just laughing and he got off the phone fast. But when he got off the phone, in my spirit, I felt like something was wrong. So I called a guy and I called a woman. And I say, if this guy just told me this, and what does it mean? And the man and the woman say it means sex. I said, what? So I called him back. He didn't answer the phone. So I leave a message on the voicemail. And I also text him and said, I need you to call me right now to explain or tell me what you meant when you say that you feel for meat. And I left it. And over a week, I called him every day. He didn't answer. So after the whole week, I called him the Monday and he answered. I said, listen, I'm not going to judge you, but I want to know what you meant when you say to me, you feel for meat. And he said to me, I said, because I asked 2 people and they told me what it meant. And he said, what did they say it mean? I said, I'm not going to tell you. You explain to me what you were talking about. And all of a sudden he said, what they told you, it means sex. How would you guess? Just one guess. That's what they told me it meant. And he was like, well, when you say that you were naked, I said, hold up, dude. I never told you I was naked. When I said, let me get dressed, it does not mean I was naked. I was not dressed appropriate for you to see me, but I'm never naked in my house. And he was like, well, you're an attractive woman. I said, that has nothing to do with it. And I said, and I actually rebuked him and I say, you know, I know your wife. what kind of person I would be to mess with a married man that I know his wife and talking in her face all the time and doing this. And he was like, okay, I'm not going to bother you anymore. I said, are you telling me we cannot have a friendship without you stepping over your boundary? Because this is the first time he ever stepped over his boundary. So I think he got too comfortable with me because I'm a huggy person. I love to give people the biggest hug there is. So I think he got too comfortable with our friendship. And after we spoke that week, because I was really angry the week that he did not answer, I was really angry and irritated because I trusted you. I don't trust men, period, in my house. I opened my door to you because I trusted you to let you in my house, and you came in my house with another intention. Don't know what you went into the restroom to do, and you came back out with whatever on your mind, but he was not bold enough to say what he wanted to say inside my house. He waited until I let him out. 1 or 2 minutes later, that's when he called me to say, I'm heading back at your house. I should have said, come back. Because then and there, he would have got straight rebuke out of my house, running out my house. Because how dare you have the audacity to come at me with that, knowing you know that I've been celibate for 12 years because I chose to give my life 100% to God with abstinence from sex. I don't want to be involved in no sex. That's why I'm not even remarried. I want to give God my all. And you have the audacity to come in my house to try to tempt me. So it irritated me because one of my brother is still missing till this day. And I know he being missing, he trusted somebody for them to lower him out for nobody to know where he is till this day. And I trusted this guy in my house because they always, call upon me when he's going through things. So this is what happened. So the week after he finally answered the phone, the wife came that same exact week. We spoke the Monday. The wife was at my door the Friday. Just pop up at my house. And I was like, why is she at my door? So I went out looking, and she went to the pantry, and she brought me a lot of food. I've known this woman for years, and she'll never look out for me like that. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, I go to the pantry once a month, and whenever I go, I'll take things for you. So I'm like, that was kind of strange. That's what I was thinking to myself. But I think she maybe read the message or heard the message that I left to let her know I don't want your husband. So I think now that relationship, she started trying to create that relationship with me, knowing that I'm not a threat, and I was never a threat to her. But this is the kicker of the story. After that week, the next week, after I spoke to the guy about what he was thinking, he was on my street. The wife came back and she brought me some more grocery. And she said to me, oh, didn't you know that so-and-so, which is her husband, fell across my street? I said, what you mean he fell? He had another seizure right across my street. It's like just from my house across the four-way, right beside me. And the funniest thing is the concrete did a number on him. His whole face was like bruised, like not his body, his whole face was just chipped off. And she was like, you didn't know? You didn't hear the ambulance? And I'm like, no. He had another seizure and he fell, and his whole face just like bruised, like chipped off. And she showed me the picture of him in the hospital. And when I tell you that there's a number was done on him, I am like, of anywhere you could have a seizure that give you such an impact to basically mess your face up, is right on my street that you open your mouth to say you feel like for meat at. So basically what I'm trying to say is don't trust nobody. Don't trust no one, because he maybe was a monitoring spirit the whole time, monitoring me, passing by my house, seeing if I'm here, because he never called. He just always popped up. But it wasn't a problem to me, because I'm like, okay, he maybe need my help right there and then. And I just got to the point that right now he changed his number, basically. He don't answer my calls anymore, and he don't want nothing to do with me. But his wife said he gave his life to God. That's what she said. He gave his life to God, and all he do is read his Bible and pray and into the Word. And I was laughing inside, like, wow, it took God to do a number on you for you to repent of what you did and say to me. So she was like, all he does is just read the Bible and pray. He don't gamble anymore. He don't go out there to be in the club anymore. He's just into his word. So I just wanted to share that story with someone today to let you know, be careful who you let in your house too, because you never know what their intent is, okay? So this one, friend or foe, only God knows. But have a good one. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. Also, let me hear what you think about what I've said. All right, until next time, be blessed, and the peace of God be with you.